Chapter 7. Command of the Keeper. Keeper is the position that ordinary Estolians understand the least. They see the king, with his crown, his white horses, and the luxury of all the pomp and circumstance, and can become envious. The Keeper instills fear and respect, in equal parts, to the men of Estolia. The time they spend as acolytes is responsible for both. The Keeper is like the headmaster at a school, the recognizable symbol of authority that all Estolians respect. Lazarus Ezekiel Zakarian, Capitulo 88. Gregory draped a towel around his hips and stepped out of the bathing room. His brother was standing in his room, dressed in his ceremonial outfit. "Uncle told me to bring you your formal outfit. Put it on," Sebastian said. He was in one of his dark moods. "Why?" Gregory blurted. "He wants you to take on the role of last resort. Now. He told me to bring you the robes, and said I should make sure that you shower and shave. He wants you in the entire outfit." Gregory groaned and rolled his eyes towards the ceiling. He planned to spend the day working with the temple artisans, crafting with seasoned motherwood. He was making a wooden flag of Estolia to give to Sebastian for his coronation. Traditionally, the heir would marry 7 days after his 30th birthday. 9 months later the next king would be born, and Sebastian would be crowned just after the baby's 7-day blessing. All of which meant that he, Gregory, had more than 9 months to finish his planned project. He would be using wood from the 3 species of tree that were unique to Estolia. Motherwood with its dark purple striations for the background, the rich greens of Mayberry for the 2 stylized mountains, spiritwood for the peaks of the mountains from the tree struck by lightning on the edge of the spirit grove. Not an easy wood to work with, but perfect for the project he was planning, with a flawless chocolate-colored grain. He had planned to meet with the artisans to see if there was a 4th type of wood, buttery yellow, from which he could fashion the stars on the flag. But, now, he would have to cancel or postpone his plans for the day. The robes for last resort were the first outfit he would wear, in the progression of roles that would culminate in him being Keeper. Others who became Keeper suffered a similar insecurity to that which had plagued him since he was an acolyte. When the day came to take on the role, they all felt and recorded a deep approval coming from deity, but he had grave doubts that he would ever grow into the position. When his uncle summoned him to discuss the schedule of instruction for Keeper, he shared his reservations about filling the role. His cousin, Leo, was in the office and had volunteered. "I'll do all the training with you, if you would like." By the end of their discussion, he'd left the office, still unsettled, but he promised he would keep an open mind, and remain willing to be guided by the spirit. "Greg?" Sebastian was impatient. "Yes?" Gregory asked, confused. "The robes." Sebastian gestured again to the colorful garments laid out on Gregory's bed. "They are waiting for us in the ballroom garden." Gregory's good mood was restored by the time they arrived in the small garden just outside the ballroom. His father and uncle were dressed formally, his uncle in a sash that he did not recognize. It was brand new. Several scribes were recording every nuance of the ceremony for the official record. Gregory and Sebastian walked slowly, in a measured cadence, up to where their uncle sat in his wheelchair, and their father, the king, stood next to him. There were only about 20 individuals observing the ceremony. Their mother was sitting with their grandparents and with Leo's brother Theo, but the majority of those in attendance were elders and acolytes. Xavier nodded to them and then waved them towards a couple of chairs, saying once they were seated, traditionally this ceremony, to pass on the role of last resort, is accomplished with all involved standing. He gestured ruefully towards his wheelchair before adding, "We will adapt to fit within my limitations. I have asked you to be seated, as I believe that what I must say is critical. When I am done with my remarks, we will proceed with the ceremony." Gregory looked around, already bored by the thought of listening to his uncle speak on any topic for any length of time. When he saw his cousin Theo, literally on the edge of his seat, straining to capture every word, Gregory felt ashamed of his lack of focus. He, too, sat on the edge of his chair so he could try to give his uncle his full attention. When Estolia was in her infancy, and Zacharias spoke with deity, he was given extravagant promises that his people would enjoy prosperity, longevity, happiness and, above all other things, true love. The only constraint placed upon them was to keep the promise of Zacharias, that the heir be willing to wait until his 30th birthday to find a woman pure in body, self, and soul, give his soul into her keeping, wed her within a 7-day, and remain true to her all the days of his life. The greatest blessing the sons of Zacharias will receive, here upon the waking world, is the joy of placing their soul within the keeping of a perfect woman. She whom deity has prepared, and for whom we have likewise been prepared in equal measures. A match deity has tested for durability, compatibility, and soul-to-soul communication. No other people on earth know a joy as profound, nor a love as binding. When you find your Kaylee, your lifespan will be measured by hers. Gregory Anacharys Zacharian, as the last resort, you will make certain that your brother, Sebastian Guillermo Zacharian, does not break the promise of Zacharias. It is your role to watch out for him and to help him if he is tempted. Only one man in each generation is faced with this extraordinary burden. You must steel yourself to have the strength to protect our nation, the wisdom to guide your brother, and if necessary, the courage to take his place if deity demands it of you. Gregory felt peculiar throughout his uncle's long-winded speech. Glancing to the scribes, he was grateful that the speech was being recorded. He did not have the attention span to follow what he was hearing. He would have to read it later, to really absorb everything. It was the same with his blessing at 18. Only when he read it did it start to make sense. Over the next 15 minutes, Gregory accepted the sash of office, the fabric stiff and new, handling the ancient dagger with reverence. He went through the prescribed words, but all he could think about was whether he would have to continue to wear the temple garb. It was 2 years before he was supposed to become the keeper. He would ask his uncle as soon as he could.